Okay, y'all, so the episode picks up with Dolly and Summer running it again on Summer's way on out the door. And I can't lie, I did have some slight satisfaction. And Summer, like, knocking her upside her head with that heel because it's like, go away. You done already whooped this girl down to the ground so many times. You literally have nothing to prove. It's really no point in continuing to run it with her. Okay, she gonna run her mouth. I feel like Dolly should be at the point where she's just like giving us fashions. She's the comedic relief and she runs it when she has to. Especially because she gets a couple fades in and her hands are always wrapped for the season until she does like her big one at the reunion or runs a couple fades later in the season. Don't do that to yourself. But I feel like this is not a fade that actually needed to be caught. You done tore her up so many times. Lex tore her up enough for the both of y'all, truly. But I don't know. I just hate to see that continue to carry on and carry on. So the next scene is the Cabaret Girls. They're coming up to basically form an alliance. Like, are we going to have each other's back or not? And basically hashing their beefs out or, getting another fade in. So Wet Wet and Amber run it, and Amber tore Wet Wet up, but we know Wet Wet's not a fighter. She's truly just hilarious and entertaining. But then Kanaya comes in, and Kanaya ends up going back and forth with Egypt, and they run some rounds, and Egypt got her, but Kanaya definitely held her own, and she definitely got Egypt's mouth, like her lip, it was definitely swollen. She got her. And to be honest, Kanaya kind of looked untouched. So as far as who did more damage, Kanaya. But who looked like they were swinging and connecting more, Egypt. But I did notice that security was like him and Egypt up, kind of like they didn't want her to be get on her. And you know that they were speculating and saying that Kanaya was messing with Lemmy. So, I don't know. You think they was protecting her in a sense? Or she just got them thumpers on deck and good luck, I don't know, y'all. But I'm going to just chalk it up to security, like seeing the size difference and protecting her in a sense. Because Kanaya, you can also tell she's like very polite to everybody. You could tell she has the energy of treating everybody with respect, from the janitor up to the CEO. She just give that energy. I like Kanaya. So Fauna, K. Rican, and Cole Killer sit down to have a conversation about, K. Rican going to the internet after she felt as though the girls did not have her back at the reunion. And truthfully, I could see both sides, but more so, I see K. Rican side more than I see Fauna and Cole Killer side, because my loyalty and my love for my friend wouldn't allow her to get like thrown all around like that. Like at some point, okay, we had a plan. We said what it was going to be. But when I see that you are not getting her, don't worry about it. I'm getting in there. It just really gives that Fauna and Cole Killer are way closer than they are to K. Rican. And they say Rican be kind of tripping. Like when you follow the history of Rican, it's like people who have came forth, like boutique owners who say that she like ran out as far as like not paying for clothes and stuff. This is what they allege, and you can look this up. They allege she didn't pay for clothes, hairstyles. She be nodding off like she has a problem as far as, addiction and stuff. Like, so maybe that's where the disconnect is. Like, she's funny, she's cute, she's a good time, but outside of that, they don't have much in common. And maybe that's where the disconnect is. And truthfully, people should just say that. But anywho, one thing I will say that I loved about this moment was the fact that K. Rican was able to take accountability a beautiful thing. She apologized for taking it to the internet. And she said, I was in my feelings because I felt like, I feel like y'all didn't have my back. And they said that they already expressed to her that, do your big one. You haven't been here. We've been bringing your name up. This was your opportunity to do your big one. But like I said, and I know a lot of people feel me on this, like, I'm not about to just let my friend get tore up like that. And then I'm jumping in fights with other people for my other friend. It just didn't look right, But, hey, to each his own. I feel like they kind of gaslit her in that situation. I'm not going to say that they like scary, because when it comes to people trying to run a fade with them, they won't back down from the fades more than likely. But I feel like they weren't trying to create situations that would call for people to jump in, because if they start jumping in, they know Lex comes in to regulate. Other people jump in to regulate. And then you're going to have to see them other people. And you already got fades to run. So I feel like this was more strategic on their end. I mean, that's just what I'm peeping. What y'all see? So all of the girls meet up at rehearsal. And Natalie and Lemmy announce that they're going to Coachella, and say their farewells. And they leave Rolly in charge of rehearsals. So while Rolly is talking to Natalie, Pressure is like trying to sneak her. Rolly cracked me up when she said, I noticed this chicken tender trying to sneak me. Because I was so confused too. Like, I ain't gonna lie, Pressure seems like a good TV moment. Like, she seems interesting to watch. But I don't like when it's too, like, clout chasing-ish. Like, I like DTB, but sometimes she just does too freaking much. Like, it's like, girl, let some stuff happen, quote-unquote, organically, So Amber walks into rehearsal, and she overhears Wet Wet telling Kanaya, I'm not helping that bitch. And she calls Wet Wet out about it. And I can kind of see how they end up squabbling, because if you saying one thing to me and then you doing something else on some slick stuff behind my back, then it's never going to be good between us, So Amber tear her up again, tear Wet Wet up again right there in that moment. Biggie's confessional look is just so cute to me. I actually like Tavy's too. I don't see many looks on Tavy that I like. I actually was just thinking, watching earlier in the episodes, like, damn, she be looking dusty. And she does. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just, this is her fighting attire. But it just looks like, do something with yourself. You're not a bad-looking girl. You just don't carry it well. So, anywho, Ciroc comes in and she starts running it with Tavy. And I'm like, damn, this is who Tommy hired. Where was this girl at last season? Like, where was she at? I guess she just needed like a kick in the caboose or something, because, baby, rounds 1 and 2, Ciroc got Tavy with ease. Like, she got her. She walked her down. And I feel like if security wasn't there, she might have dropped her. She might have got her. You feel me? But I'm going to just go through the rest of the fade, y'all. So, Fauna walked down on Tavy. And, I would say it was featuring Cold Killer, but she missed. Talking about some Usher. Usher, bitch. You missed. What are you talking about? So, Fauna versus Tavy. I'm giving it to Tavy, but I do feel like Fauna held her own, But, if y'all say Fauna won, I wouldn't argue with y'all. Like, not at all. So, then Cold Killer ended up running it with Tinka. They ran 3 rounds. The first round, Cold Killer literally was mop. She was doing her shit. I could tell she'd been taking her boxing classes again, because she was jamming. The second round was kind of like a tie, and the third round was clearly Tink. Then Pressure and Persuasion ran around, and it was more like a tie. It was kind of like a tie. I don't know what Sway was hitting though. It looked like Sway was hitting her shoulder or something like. And that's why I'm definitely gonna give it a tie because she was swinging, but it wasn't like, what are you hitting? Hopefully she was hitting something because some of these angles you'd be like, damn, maybe you getting groovy, but I can't quite tell. Give me another angle, So anywho, E.T. wants to get it with Camilla, and when I tell you, Camilla did not want that with E.T. She didn't want that with that girl. She literally was talking her way out of that beat down, talking about we too pretty for that. Like, first of all, E.T. just got pretty. This bitch was just dusty as hell, scrapping for tilapia. Like, she just got, quote unquote, too pretty for that. She can still get her ass whooped, but I get it because Camilla's like 40 with kids and whatnot, so I wouldn't be trying to run it either. I don't even know why they come back to this show. They need to actually make a show just for those baddies who are up in age, who are like past scrapping, or put them on a show where 40 and up can scrap with each other. Why y'all putting them on here with some bitches that's 20 and 19 and 23 and stuff that's, ready, TTG, desperate for a spot and some fame? I do not know. It's really crazy. But anywho, Fauna get the running it with Tank. And they ran 2 rounds, I believe. And both them rounds, Fauna got them rounds. Tank, you not fucking with Fauna. And I know you was talking and popping it like you did your big one, but baby, you were not fucking with Fauna. Like, with ease. And I know she was kind of swinging like, it missed sometimes, but shit, she was connecting too. So then Big Lex ends up running down on Camilla. And, we get into Lex. But I don't think Camilla was getting got how we would imagine her getting got by Lex. But also, I do feel like security played a major part in that because they were trying to protect Camilla. But Lex still got through, and it's almost like, they let her through a little bit, like, do what you can, and then get up out of there. But yeah, so then we're left on a cliffhanger at E.T. versus Persuasion for next week. And I don't know if it's the editing, y'all, but Ciroc looks like she was getting with Lex program. But when she got online, her eye was swollen and puffed up. She always had black eyes and stuff. So I'm trying to figure out, okay, you got with her program. Cool. How did you end up looking like the Hunchback of Notre Dame? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Why the fuck is you getting online looking like Quasimodo or Rajon Rondo? I don't get it. So I don't know if those hits were connecting because like I told y'all that last episode with Miss Treve, her hits were not connecting. They both were not connecting shit. It was like a couple bops connected between them two. Out of like 3 rounds, I'm like, they really not doing nothing. So I don't know if she was just swinging real fast and looking like she was getting with Lex program, but she was missing. But I do feel like Lex got a chin on her. We seen that with Ivory. We seen Lex had a chin with Ivory, and she could take a punch. But damn, the way that girl don't be having nothing but a scratch on her, I don't know. Like, I'll be making that bitch look like the Iron Giant. You hear me? But that was the episode, y'all. Tell me y'all thoughts down below. Like, comment, share the video. You feel me? Subscribe. I'll see y'all next week.